All right, so let's just jump right in. We're going to start by talking about the data a little bit. Dr. Gilliam, why is the COVID vaccine important for the Black community in particular?
Well, data is interesting to those of us who like to hear about numbers and data. But I kind of like to take a long view of what COVID has been in the community. So if we think back to 18 months ago, 20 months ago, when we hadn't heard of a COVID-19 ever before. Back when it first began, particularly in the Black community, we didn't think it impacted us as much. Like that was the rumor at the time. Like people in the Black community did not seem to be getting infected or affected by the virus itself. But then as it progressed, we started to see that not only was that not the truth, but we in the Black community were being impacted and affected by the virus at much higher rates than many of the other communities. Um, and we also, not in that impaction, we're being hospitalized more often, we're dying more often. Um, and we found that that was due to a lot of different reasons, not just because the virus liked us more than anybody else, because anyone can get infected with the COVID-19 virus. It's just that some of the things that were already present in our communities that may not have been of our doing um, kind of led to us being impacted more heavily than some other communities. Um, but it's been when looking kind of at our perceptions of the vaccine in the community, I think there are kind of two camps of people that remain now. And so you have the people that are in or were in the wait and see camp. And those people are those, I just want to wait a little while longer, kind of see how this vaccine kind of works in people that I know and love, and let y'all get it first. And I think about it, I'll get it later. And I think the other group of people is the never ever camp. I don't care what you tell me, I'm not getting this vaccine. And there are people like that no matter what the vaccine is, flu or any of that stuff. But it's been my perception, looking at how our numbers have been steadily increasing these last several weeks and months, that there's a larger portion of those in the Black community, specifically kind of where we sit, that are in that wait and see camp, that are being slowly convinced into or persuaded or have gathered enough information to be able to make an informed decision about getting vaccinated, because they now realize that is the best thing for them, their family, and those they love to do and get done. And then, we still will continue to do all the things we do to kind of inform people, no matter what camp you think you are in. If you feel like you're in a wait and see camp or a never ever camp, we kind of give the same information, the same compassionate plea, never shaming people for what we think may be the right thing to do versus what they're feeling is the right thing for them and their families. But when we look at the community specifically, so if we look at 55411, where NorthPoint sits, and 12, which is another area code that we serve heavily as well, those two zip codes have the lowest vaccination rates, or in the top three for the lowest vaccination rates in the state, at 39 and 47% respectively. And then the top is 55454, which is the Minneapolis kind of Cedar Riverside area. And they're just a little bit lower in their percentage of vaccinated. And so the issue with that is that, well, not only does it presents an opportunity for us to give more information to those communities, and also to make sure we're kind of giving that information in ways they'll be able to receive it and hear it. But some of the other issue is that it's the communities that have not been vaccinated that are now being mostly impacted with the virus now, because we see that the vaccine is effective to prevent not only infection, but severe infection that leads to hospitalization and other kind of major issues.